The 1980s had a strong series of movies for kids, and none captured my imagination better than The NeverEnding Story, which, thanks to Australia's Imprint Films, is now available on a limited edition release. You get a life-size leatherette replica book packaging that I struggled to open in frame. Inside is a folder with a full-size reprint of the original movie poster, lobby cards, a reproduction of the press kit, and behind that, not sure why mine had some glue on the velvet, but we have a 3D lenticular hard case. Sliding out, the snap-together case contains 5 discs. The international version in English on 4K with Dolby Vision. The German release in 4K HDR10. Both versions get 1080p versions on discs, as well as a disc containing additional bonus material. If you're unfamiliar with The NeverEnding Story, it's a 1984 fantasy film directed by Wolfgang Petersen, his first English language film. Bastian, Barrett Oliver, is a grade school boy whose mom recently passed away. After being chased by bullies, he enters a bookstore where the owner tells him of a book that seems to come to life. Curious, Bastian borrows The NeverEnding Story, skips a math test, and bunkers down in the school's attic for a long read. He's introduced to the world of Fantasia, where a mysterious force is threatening the land. A lone warrior named Atreyu is sent on a quest, guided by an amulet called the Orin. Our two heroes are tested by trick photography, blue screens, giant puppets, buxom statues, and mud. The lack of a traditional villain helps separate The NeverEnding Story from the pack. The movie is deep with themes, giving you a lot to contemplate. And in true hard 80s fashion, it is way too much for today's soft youth. Both versions are in English. The German version is actually older, having premiered in April of 1984. It's about 7 minutes longer and has several noticeable differences. Most obviously, the Lamal's theme song wasn't added yet, so the opening title sequence is just white letters on black. You'll notice the Klaus Goldinger theme, which I've associated with Atreyu beginning his adventure, really seems to be on repeat. The version me and probably you are more familiar with has much more music, thanks to Giorgio Moroder. Guys, this is the synth soundtrack that all vaporwave is looking to emulate. Everything hits different. In fact, you might not have been traumatized as a kid when Artax sinks into the swamp, if it weren't for his music. Though in English, writing has been replaced with an alternate prop book and takes in German. I was caught off guard to hear a different voice for the racing snail rider in the German version, and some are saying this is Deep Roy's actual voice.
We are on the same mission. After all, if the Empress can't save us, who could?
We're on the same mission. After all, if the Empress can't save us, who could?
I have my doubts. I couldn't find real confirmation. Regardless, now he has a southern accent.
Rockbiter, what you have told us is also happening where I live in the West.
The German version is 7 minutes longer with far less music, a much slower pace. By and large, the same things happen, but in the international version, it's vastly superior. Not just the aforementioned superior music, but better effects. The worst shot of Rod Puppet Falcor gets cut. The meeting at the Ivory Tower gets a wobbly composite sent to the bin. But hey, check out who made the trip. Mickey Mouse, Yoda, Ewoks. The international or American version has cutaways showing off more of these costumes. Now, the German cut does have one scene, not anywhere else. A janitor interrupts Bastian. It makes no difference. And if you're keen to notice, when Bastian wakes up at the start, you now get a bigger view of his bookshelf, seeing that his interaction at the bookstore, he does actually have a lot of books. Oh, and there's a cutaway of Gamork totally whiffing when it came to snatching up Atreyu in the swamp. The picture quality on this release is beyond compare. It is absolutely stunning. A 4K native transfer that reveals new details I hadn't seen before, like whiskers on the snail and Falcor. The costumes really shine, shadows are perfect and deep, but you can see everything without noise, and brights aren't sent into overdrive beyond the original exhibition look. There could have been some efforts to remove trapped hairs from the gate, and maybe you wouldn't have noticed, but I think this shows that CGI hasn't touched this movie. And certainly not AI. Yeah, composite shots are wonky, but authentically so. When getting clips, I'm limited to 1080p, and though I use the German version's Blu-ray, I use the international 4K, and even constrained, the 4K revealed more detail. I don't know why, but the international version was mastered in Dolby Vision, whereas the German was limited to HDR10. Both versions get 5.1 DTS surround. The final disc has bonus features not included on the international version's Blu-ray. The feature-length documentary After the NeverEnding Story catches up with two of the child stars. Actually, all three have taken very different paths in life. With Barrett Oliver declining to participate, it is understood he lives a very quiet life and delves into 1800s photography. We learn that the urban myth that Artax actually died sinking in the swamp is, thank God, untrue. Lived a happy life for another 30 years. But as Noah Hathaway states, if you were traumatized by those 2 minutes, I had to do it for 2 weeks. So, what's missing? Well, this won't really matter to most physical media collectors, but I kind of feel like when you spend $200 on a release, I would like to have a digital copy for convenience sake, and that way of having some kind of ownership. I could have maybe got better clips, easier. The collection is enormous, so why not include the second and third movies? I haven't even seen the third one. I hear it has Jack Black in his debut. And I don't even need those remastered in 4K. Just drop me a 1080p Blu-ray in there and I'm good. The lenticular hard case is fun, but if we want to have a real stripped down version, maybe do 4 discs, okay? Blu-ray and 4K of the films without the bonus disc altogether. Just have something available so that we can give the NeverEnding Story to more people. The NeverEnding Story has remained a favorite of mine into adulthood. I have it as the very best kids film of the 80s, which I think is really saying something given the stiff level of competition of the day. But not hearing it quoted among friends or referenced in the media, it feels like the nothing has taken Fantasia away from us. Until you see a release like this from Imprint Films that keeps the NeverEnding Story alive.
Hey, it's Vaughn's mom again, so I just wanted to remind you that instead of buying Vaughn's weird pictures online in various states of undress, you can just bookmark his Amazon affiliate link, and then when you shop Throw It on Amazon, he gets a few pennies here and there.